Hello, my name is Joseph Carlson, and this is episode 281 of Gaming with Grief. And this is going to be a shorter episode, but I just want to talk about my thoughts with Banishers Ghost of New Eden. It came out in 2024, and I've been playing it. I talked a lot about it back in the day, but this is going to be just a me straight to camera video talking about what I think about Banishers Ghost of New Eden, a game from Don't Nod. That came out again 2 years ago, I think February 14, 2024. I probably should have written all that down or looked it up. Anyway, if you like the reviews and you see and things like that, please like and subscribe to the channel. I have, a few subscribers, which I appreciate, some watchers. Some of my videos have been getting more traction lately, so I just want to thank everybody out there for watching the videos. But I usually do like B-roll, the game and everything, but I was kind of frustrated because as I was getting to trying to platinum this game, there's a few trophies that are dependent on like random drops. I've heard horror stories that some people say, hey, I was able to do this one trophy very quickly. Some people saying I was able, it took a long time. I did this thing over and over again. So I kind of ran into a wall. I went back to a previous save and tried to complete certain things. I'm also running into roadblocks with that because you have to talk to certain people and have them unlock certain things. And I don't know. Again, this was going to be like a platinum review, but it didn't really work out. But what I really want to do is talk about it's been 2 years. I've read other people's reviews. I've seen other people's reviews. What do I think about the game in general? So we'll talk about all that, and we'll go over all that after the intro. Hey, we're back. So here's the deal. I think this game pretty much got sixes and sevens. From what I read from people online and reading reviews, people would either recommend it or not recommend it or things like that. And I think the biggest criticism I've read online is the combat. People don't like the combat, which I understand. I think Don't Nod is more known for narrative things, narrative storytelling and things like that. I haven't played Life is Strange, but you could tell from this game, like the haunting cases, which I only did a few when I did the main review for the game. You can check that out. Just go to my channel and type in Banishers Ghost of New Eden again. Probably should have written that down, but I'm terrible. I'm terrible at this. But I reviewed the game several times and talked about it a lot before I completed it. It was my game of the year, I think, in 2024. It was my game of the year, 2024. I don't think it was my game of the year. But I wasn't able to complete like a lot of the side missions with the haunting cases. And I think going back trying to platinum it, really going through all the haunting cases and seeing like what really clicked about those, like Don't Nod and the team, I just want to commend. I think I said it early on in one of my early reviews, but after doing every haunting case now, and I think there's only one that I haven't been able to follow up on because every haunting case, after you complete it, you get to follow up on it with the people and see how they're doing after the events. There's only one I haven't done. I believe it's attached to a story, but all of them are really good. There's also a few that are big head scratchers, and I don't know, man. I know it is kind of an overused cliche, but I wish there was a sequel to this game because I do, after going back to it after taking a big break, I do agree with some of the reviews that I read that like combat doesn't really click, especially because like every game, if you have gear and you have a build, you work towards a goal to make a certain build and whatever. And I did that. And then I found that I kind of just did the same thing over and over again. I did an experiment. Maybe I can. Maybe I'll take a save and, to start messing around, seeing if I can mess with a build. But I don't know. The combat does feel a little bit short. But that's something where I think that if there was a sequel to this game, you could say, okay, most of the reviews and the feedback we've got said that the combat is terrible. What do we really do to focus on the combat? And I think they could do that and it would be amazing. I also think that it's one of those things where this is going to sound really stupid and dopey, but I really love like the world they've created. New Eden feels like a real place. Maybe it's just because some of the environments you go to are like kind of rainy, and even if that, they're like green and trees. And I'm from the Northwest, so it kind of like I'm like, oh yeah, like I could be hiking somewhere and this would be a thing, like I would see this. And the world of the Banishers that they've created, again, I may have talked about this in an earlier review. The idea of people seeing ghosts, the idea of it just being a natural part of the world. I love, to spoil a haunting case later, which I think I did another review. You meet someone like you that just hasn't been trained, and you talk about training her. Like, here's what you need to do to be a banisher. And I think all that stuff is so good. It's so good. And I think, I read when I was like researching this game and everything to finish it up, I read that because of this game, and I believe Jusant, that Don't Nod didn't hit some milestones, and so they had to lay people off, which is so sad. It's one of those things where you're just like, if only this game would have got the proper flowers that it needed, and I think it's just really depressing to me that there isn't more people talking about this game. But I understand in like the environment of gaming when you're like, well, most people don't really play. Well, I'm not going to generalize. Some people don't play a game for stories, but you can really hook people through gameplay. And if you tell them like the action, the combat, and the gameplay, like the actual whatever is okay, that's a rough sell to be like, well, the combat's okay. This is okay. I was telling a coworker about this game. They wanted to check it out. There was a demo on Steam. They were excited to try it out. And I said, listen, I really like this game. I think it's really amazing. But the combat gets in this weird thing where I've noticed even coming back to it. It does this weird soft lock thing where you get locked out of doing things. Like if you're getting hit, it's like a stun lock. But it almost feels like, not that, oh, he stun locked me, that's unfair. Here's how I break out of it. How I break out of the enemy's stun lock. It feels like, well, the buttons aren't responding. And then there's scenes where you go to dodge or something and like nothing happens. Like too many enemies are on the screen and you're being attacked. And it's like your controller shuts off. And that was, again, not a good selling point. And I think it's hard to tell people like, well, your character doesn't do anything while it's being punched in the face, but it's a great game. And I guess that's what I feel. So, listen, I know people at the team got laid off. There's probably no hope of a sequel for this game. But I love this game with all my heart. I keep thinking about it when I log out of it. The stories they tell, even in the haunting cases, it's like, did I make the right choice? Again, there's a kind of a good and like an A and B ending. And in one of the endings, you have to be a good person. The A ending, you have to be a good person. The B ending, you're kind of going to be a horrible person and kill people. Since I took a big break for this game, I didn't track how good or bad I was. And part of me is almost like thinking about like, well, like this is after I beat all the haunting cases. I'm thinking, that one person, I don't know. Like if they were lying to me or telling me the truth, maybe I should just kill him. I've already got the good, in my opinion, canon ending when you do objectively the good thing. Now I can be evil because I played so much of the game that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore. I think I played the game for like 110 hours right now, and everybody online is like, oh, it's like a 20-hour game. And I'm like, what were you guys doing? Like I was looking for all the collectibles, all the chests. I was trying to find all the like treasure spots. I was defeating the haunting grounds. I was reading every letter of like how the Banishers. By the way, let me just look right into camera and say this. Fuck demonologists. Fuck demonologists. This is my channel. I can curse. What are you guys doing? What are you people doing? It's like there's Banishers. There's like religious people in town. They're trying to toe the line, and these demonologists come through, perform some dark ritual they don't understand, and then the Banishers have to clean it up. Listen, not only do the Banishers see ghosts, but they're also garbage men. All right, they got to clean it up. They got to come with the truck of whatever and clean things. So I just want to say I'm not a fan of the demonologists. I'm kidding. The writers did a good job. Uh, I don't know. I know. Listen, this may be a little bit of a rambly interview or review, but I really like the game. And I've talked about it before in the pod. I'm a big fan of Kind of Funny games and all that. I'm a Patreon supporter. It's kind of where I get all my gaming news and stuff. Shout out to Kind of Funny. But I think the one thing that I really like about Kind of Funny is I think Blessing talks about this, and maybe Tim and Greg name checks him a little bit. The idea that, listen, this game is like a 6 or 7 out of 10 that I love, like an 11 out of 10. That's how I feel about Banishers. Is it like the most responsive game? No. I think I already went over that. I don't want to beat a dead horse. But like, man, when the combat clicks, when you shoot someone with your rifle, going for a heavy, turn into Antia, do like a burst to kill everybody, then go back in, kill one of those Hulks, like that, it like when all that clicks later in the game, that feels so good. And it's hard to tell people, well, the first 12 hours of combat are really going to suck. But when you get this one build, that's a hard sell. So I'm going to steal Kind of Funny's line and say, this game is, by all intents and purposes, a 6 out of 10 that I love. Like, it's a 6 out of 10 that I love, like a 12 out of 10. It is a great game with great atmosphere. I think the characters are great. The voice acting is amazing. And everything is good. Great. Except for the combat. So, if you can, even the music, I keep hearing the music when I'm looping, collecting collectibles. I'm like, man, this is kind of good. It's a little haunting, and yes, it repeats because you're kind of in the same, because they got themes. It's like, oh, you're looking for the haunted ground. So like there's 4 or 5 of those throughout the map. We're going to play the same theme. It's like, this is a pretty good theme. Oh, you're in a cave? We're going to play this theme. Oh, you're doing this? We're going to play this theme. And like that stuff just hits. And so again, maybe to everybody else's game is like a 6 or 7 out of 10, but I love it like a 12 out of 10, 11 out of 10. It's so good. So I'm just a lowly YouTuber with like 20 plus subscribers. Thanks everybody for subscribing and liking and all that. But I just want to say thank you so much to the team at Don't Nod that did this game. Thank you so much to the voice actors, people who did the music, all that stuff. Love it. Anyway, again, this is kind of a rambling review of Banishers, but I just, at the beginning of the year, I'm trying to look at like what I want to review, and I really wanted to go back to this game. And also, as a side note, this is going to be really weird. I know like a few episodes back, and again, I'm terrible at this. I should have written down when I said it, but I was like, I just want to review normal games. I don't want to do games deal with grief and things like that for like my own mental health. Well, now I'm taking more time between games, and I'm really trying to focus on the grief part of the games. And so I think it was like the deluge, as people say, of every week in and out. I have a day job, trying to be a gamer review, write a review, shoot it, all that kind of stuff, B-roll. Got kind of intense, and I think maybe now that I'm taking more time between reviews, I'll again be able to make a better product, but also really like dig into the grief of the games, and it won't be so bad on my mental health. So I'm going to go back, back, quote unquote. My break is over. I'm going to go back to really focusing on grief in the gaming and like what different games say about grief and things like that. So that'll be the next episode. I am kind of between 2 projects right now of like what I'm going to review. So I'll get into that probably later. But again, rambly episode, but just right at the bottom. Please like and subscribe. Tell people what you think of the video. Again, I don't have a lot of subscribers, but I appreciate it. You can write to me at gwgpodfellows@gmail.com. An episode comes out at the end of the month. I may be able to accelerate that, but the last day of the month, you're going to get an episode from me. And finally, I've said it many times, but I want to say it again. Thank you to everybody, the Don't Nod team that did Banishers Ghost of New Eden. I don't have a lot of subscribers, but I genuinely, from my heart, I love the game. I don't know what happened to the team because I heard there was different layoffs. I hope everybody landed on their feet and they're in a good place. And I hope there's some reunion, I guess, of the team coming together And, if I was to pray to heaven or whatever, to whatever deity, I would hope that you guys could do a sequel to the game. Also, this is just an aside, and no one's going to get in the comment to the video, but I don't get a lot of comments. There was an interview, I believe they did in French, with the developers of the game, and it was subtitles. It was from Don't Nod. It was on their channel. I don't know if it was a live stream, and that's why I missed it, but I was trying to look for an archive, and I want to find it because I want to hear what the developers kind of went through and stuff like that. So I'm very sad that I missed that. But again, thank you so much to the Don't Nod people. Again, I hope everybody landed on their feet, and I hope there's some, listen, if you use the term spiritual successor and then a new game and mention Banishers of Ghost Eden, day one for me. So have a good month. I will see everybody at the end of next month, and have fun, game, enjoy. I'll talk to everybody next month. Bye.